All right, so Jackie DeSilva here. I have Renee Sullivan on the call with me today. And we're both going to be talking about some certain things that has to do with like personal development and basically just setting ourselves up for just success in life and whatever we're currently doing. But today I actually wanted to talk about the importance of gratitude and how that's extremely important and getting into a routine of doing that first thing in the morning and first thing before you go to bed. And I actually made a video on this yesterday on my YouTube channel. And one of the reasons is because you get what you think about most of the time. And I was going to show you, but another important thing is to write it down on white paper and blue ink. And the reason is because blue ink has a huge, it has a vibrational energy. And the more you write it down on paper, the more you're going to start attracting more things that you are also grateful for. And a lot of people are, struggling financially and they want to change their financial situation. But one of the things is I feel like just being grateful, thankful, and appreciative of those that are around you and the things that you have are more than important in your life than anything else. Like, we all want to make more money, but it really doesn't come down to that. It has, I mentioned in the video yesterday how I'm just very grateful for my Toyota Camry that's a 2002. And the reason why is because I bought it in 2009 and it basically came with everything, brand new everything, like a new timing belt and new tires, new whatever you name it, it had that. And honestly, I haven't put any money into it, like major. I bought new tires, just regular maintenance, oil change, gas, it just, the regular. And I just find that to be very powerful and the reason is because my first car, I felt like was always in the shop and I would always be spending a lot of money on a car that was just, getting worse. And I know Toyota, Toyota Camrys in general are just great cars. Eventually I want my dream car, but besides the point, I'm, with my current situation, I'm very grateful. I really haven't put much money into it, and I'm just very grateful for surrounding myself with winners, like-minded people, and Renee Sullivan, and how she actually lives pretty close to me. So just getting into a routine every morning and night, thinking about what you were thankful throughout the day, and first thing in the morning, wake up, write it down, and pretty much it. So gratitude is basically the key to life and success. And whatever you're currently doing, because the more you talk about it and think about it and the more you're grateful, the more you're actually going to start attracting more things into your life that you're grateful for.
And you mentioned about being grateful. What I've been doing every single day is writing down 10 things that I'm grateful for. And it can come down to the simple things like the pillow that I'm sleeping on to huge things, it doesn't matter. It could be like the pen that I'm writing with, the blue pen that I'm always writing with.
Yes.
So like everybody can find 10 things to be grateful for.
And I like that idea, the 10 things.
Yes, every single day it's 10 things. And again, I write it down on white paper and a blue pen. And something more to be said about that is what that blue pen is, the action of actually doing it, of the actual writing it. And the blue pen, not only does it have the vibration, there's neural pathways in your brain.
Yes.
Transfer that. That's why it's more likely to, it resonates with you more because of those neural pathways. There's something about that blue ink that does that. So. But yes.
And actually, the funny thing is, now that we're talking about it, I find it kind of funny that we're both wearing blue. And in the video, like, we can call each other up.
No.
We're talking about white paper, blue ink, and we're both going.
And we both have white backgrounds behind us. How funny is that?
I love it.
Things happen. You know, there's no coincidences in the.
No, not at all. So one of the things that I'm very grateful for is we're both wearing blue. We both have a white background, and that right there goes to show you how amazing it is. You know, we didn't even plan this.
I know. One of the things I wanted to share today that really resonated with me is there's a story actually, and again, I'm not like a major church going person, but I happen to be singing. I cantor at church, and one of the scriptures I'm going to look at it's Mark 5:20, Gospel according to Mark 5:21 to 43, and there's a story of extreme faith. Okay, and it goes along with what we talk about in, you know, the personal development that we do. But this woman, for 12 years straight, was always sick, and she was actually hemorrhaging, you know, to very different degrees for 12 years.
Wow.
And she was to the point of dying, but she had this amazing, and this goes back to like, you know, when Jesus was walking and people like would recognize him.
Yeah.
But she had incredible faith that Jesus was going to help her heal. You know, she had gone through, you know, what they call doctors. Of course, medicine was different then, but nothing seemed to help. But she had this extreme faith. She's always, you know, was reading from the Bible, always listening to what Jesus had to say. And she felt in her very soul that if she could actually go see Jesus and touch Jesus, that she would be healed.
Yes.
So here's what happened. So she actually had a chance to do that. She touched his clothes, and all of a sudden, you know, Jesus actually didn't, you know, there were a lot of people who were touching her, but, you know, he realized that there was someone who touched him. And he basically said, "Who was that?" And the woman came up to him and just told her story. You know, I know that you can help me heal. I've tried so many things. And basically he said to her, "Your faith has saved you, my child." And she immediately fell to the ground. And everybody thought that she actually died. Everyone thought that Jesus saved her by, you know, having her die and putting her out of her misery.
Right.
But a while later, I'm like, people were getting ready for her burial.
Wow.
A while later, they realized they saw Jesus, and it was Jesus and who else was it? I'm looking at the scripture right now. St. Peter and St. James and John. And he was talking with them, and people, like, of course, were getting ready for her burial, and they came to her and they were talking about this person who they were getting ready to bury, and Jesus said, "She's not dead, she's sleeping." Wow. And he basically commanded her to wake up. Wow. And she woke up. Wow. And Jesus did not want this story to be told. But obviously when people are in a community and they witness something like that, stories are going to be told. That's how we know the story. But, you know, it was her faith, and what Jesus wanted her to realize is that it wasn't necessarily him that saved her, it was her faith. Amen. That saved her. And it's very similar to, you know, having faith in yourself and believing in things. Yes. And that's what brings things about. And that's why this story resonated with me so much. It was about the power of believing and having faith. It's all connected. You know, whatever you believe in, of course, this is a Christian story, but whatever you believe in, if you have the faith that something is going to happen, and you, like you said, what you think about comes about, you know, that's really what happens. And that totally resonated with me, and it goes along with everything that you were talking about.
And they also mention it in this book, right?
Yes, the magic. I was going to say that, yes, the magic of thinking big, asking it is given.
I'm currently reading, actually, now that we're talking about, I'm currently reading this chapter, You Are What You Think You Are. But also, the first chapter of the book is believe you can succeed and you will. So that right there is, you know.
Yeah, it's just so powerful, because in my life, I've had things where I know I've believed in something and it's happened. It may not happen immediately. Like this woman suffered for 12 years. Okay. Yeah. but she still had that faith. Yeah. And, you know, it was amazing, you know, and again, things like this happen. Like I recently joined a BNI, but the first time I actually joined a BNI, at the time it cost $500 to join. It's more expensive now, but at the time, and at the time I didn't have that $500. I so badly wanted to join, but at the same time, I was actually reading the book, The Secret. Okay. I was reading the book, The Secret, at that time, because my mentor at the time had said to me, you know, you're ready for this book. It was my first real true mentor that I actually had. And I was reading that book, The Secret. And within days, I actually got a check in the mail for $500. And it was like, so, like this kind of stuff. But I wanted so badly. I knew that this was going to help my business. I knew this was a good thing for me. So it's what I thought about. But here's the thing. I didn't like completely focus my thoughts on only that. Right. I believed it was going to happen. I wanted it to happen. And then just within a few days, I was like, oh my God, you know, that was my first experience with actually believing in something and having it happen, and having faith and having it happen.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I know I was talking about gratitude and being thankful, but there are times, I mean, we just need to, you know, continuously be working on our inner thinking. But we go throughout our daily lives where, you know, there's this one thing that's bothering you. Like it could even be your current situation. Like I had to remind myself several times last week. You know, I was kind of, you know, summers are kind of a struggle for me, but it's what basically drives me to keep taking action and to keep moving forward. And it's just, you know, again, like financially, I'm not exactly where I want to be, but just reminding myself about like the abundance and everything around me and what I have. Like, honestly, I'm very, very grateful that, you know, I always have more than enough. I always have more than enough to pay my bills, to pay for my expenses, to pay for groceries, but it always happens at the right time, you know? So that's another thing, you know, no matter what your current situation is, it's always good to take a step back, be grateful, and just remind yourself about like the abundance around you, and, like everything's going to be okay as long as you believe and have that faith. So it goes, you know, it correlates with each other, you know, believing in gratitude. So.
It really does. And, you know, that's really the big message that, you know, we're always talking about. Yes. In different ways, you can break this down in so many different ways. And it comes down to, well, how do you feel when you're thinking about that certain thing? How do you feel good thinking about, like when I was thinking about BNI at that time, I was feeling good. Like I was excited about going, like nothing, you know, really was going to get in my way of going. So when I had that thought of it, I felt good. So the universe brings that to you. So, you know, and when you are thinking of something, if you're feeling good, you know that it's a good thing and you should keep thinking about that. When you're thinking about something and you feel bad, you know that that's not the right vibration, and that's when you have to change it. But it's the more you actually believe in yourself that is going to help you to feel good. You know, it's all connected. It all goes together.
Yep, exactly. Awesome. So I think that was pretty much what we wanted to share and talk about today. So we're going to continue working on these videos, webinars, and we'll see you in the next one.
All right.
Bye.